feeling extra blessed today.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird. This is like, it's just weird. It's like stepping into the Twilight Zone. I don't know what's happening here. Because the thing is that typically we do this show super early, like
2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And for some reason today, we were both like, hey, let's get up at decent times for us. Mm-hmm. I'm sure most people are like, they slept in all day.
Yeah.
But for us, getting up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon is great.
Yeah.
And we were like, you know what? We're going to clean. Mm-hmm. We're going to do some laundry.
Yeah.
We're going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
This is what it's about.
It's insane for me because I worked 4 nights in a row, and the past 2 days, I've barely got out of bed. I had Saturday and Sunday off, and I was like, oh, I just can't get out. I'm so tired. And apparently that's all I needed because I feel like a totally different person today, and I'm really upset that I have to go to work tonight and work the 2 nights after that.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because I feel amazing.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst part of this is that you have to go to work now.
Yeah.
So, but we have enough time to sit down and really talk about some stuff and have fun and just greet all the wonderful people that we love so much. Mm-hmm. All the blessed ones out there. So thank you for tuning in. I hate that. Tuning in? Like, what does that even mean?
Well, because you used to dial.
Yeah, but you're not tuning it. You're not tuning it
so
now.
So then why did you say it?
Thank you for pushing in, just pushing your finger on your phone or whatever and touching the app. Thanks for apping in.
Thank you for downloading.
Thanks for downloading and apping in to the Laugh and Be Blessed podcast with your hosts, Jake and Chia Rubel.
Hello.
Rubles. We should probably think about changing our last name. I've talked about this, but...
I keep saying that I'm really not on the schedule for work because the past schedule has misspelled my name. It's Rubble. I don't know who Chia Rubble is. It's not me.
It's probably not Chia either. It's probably Chaya.
Yeah.
Chaya Rubble.
So I probably shouldn't go in.
I wouldn't. I think you should stay home with me and we'll play games.
Aw, that'd be fun.
It'd be a lot of blast.
Well, I only have to work 3 nights and then I have 5 off, and you're not going anywhere, so.
It's true. I feel like I should probably say this right off the gate. I don't know what's going on with me, but since last night, I can't speak words good. Did you notice that last night whenever I was trying to tell you a story?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but for whatever, everything was fine.
Because you talk too much, and now you're all twisted.
I guess so. Well, I've been twisted. Just say it's been twisty. Vocally twisted. Yeah, that could be definitely it. I see. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's happening. It's weird. Before we really get into stuff, I do want to talk about some fun shows that I've been on because that's why I started this podcast. It's definitely not what it ended up being. I legit started the podcast because I was like, oh, this would be a cool way to like get more fans and like, maybe people like the podcast. They'll show up to shows and I can like interview comedians. And then we sat down and did a podcast in our bed one day. And I was like, no, this is the funnest thing ever. This is what it is. So I do want to talk about some shows that I just did. I'll start with, I'll start with the shows I did in Huntsville, Alabama with Jason Mewes. Now, look, this is a very transparent podcast.
Now, this is really cool because you have now been to this club twice, and both times with people you are big fans of and you love to hang out with. So 100%.
Yeah. And that was cool because whenever I showed up to the club, so the last time I was there was 2 years ago. Which is crazy, but it was 2 years ago. It was December of 2020 is whenever I was there. And I know that because my name is on the wall and it has the date.
Oh, that's cool.
And the guy that was like, I don't know I guess like just the manager. Wasn't the general manager, but he just like managed the club.
Okay.
He was really cool. Me and him, like, we talked about board games and all kinds of stuff, so we kind of hit it off. Well, whenever I showed up, his name's Tom. He's a real big guy, super, super nice. He, he comes into the green room, and as soon as he sees me, he gives me, like, this huge bear hug.
Aww.
And he was just like, dude, it's so good to see you again. I was like, yeah, you too. And he's wearing a suit. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, why are you so dressed up? And he's like, oh, I'm the GM now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got a promotion. I was like, oh, that's great, man. And he's such a nice guy. I loved just hanging out and talking with him. But then, like, waitresses were coming up to me. Well, servers, I should say servers. Yeah. Servers were coming up to me and was like, we were so happy to see that you were coming back. We're really excited to see you guys this weekend. I was like, what? That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then like the guy who does the sound came in and was like, "Rubel, what's up, man?" He was like, "I'm stoked to see you." Like, I was just like, and it could be a thing,
cool.
But it could be a thing where like maybe Tom told them like, "Hey, Jake was here 2 years ago. Make him feel like you remember." You know what I mean? But I don't think so because they seemed very real about it. So that was really cool. That's the first time that's happened for me because I'm so new to comedy. Like I've not done a lot of returns to clubs. So this is the first time I've come back to a club. And the club liked me. So, I mean, well, I had Zanies, but I don't really count Zanies because technically I think Zanies is kind of like my home club now.
Yeah.
So I don't really count them technically because I'm there a lot. But this was just a really cool experience. It was very fun. And it was kind of cool because it was like Jay and AJ seen it, and I was just like, yeah. I'm just the host, but don't worry, fellas. Like, people like me. Keep me on the team. But yeah, the fact that, like, again, this is a transparent podcast. Like, we are very honest on this podcast. And I wish people could see how often I use my hands. Like, I'm very expressive. I'm just like all over.
Maybe one day we'll do a video.
We will. Once we actually have a studio set up, like once I have my office, and now it feels weird without the headphones on. But once we have... It
feels like you're not recording right now.
Yeah, I know. But those headphones, you let the kids use them so they short out. I'm buying a new pair. I'm buying a new pair. I'm putting them in the safe.
Okay.
No, you guys make me mad.
Okay.
I spend money on these things and then they break.
Okay.
Anyways.
I think you broke them, but okay.
No, I didn't. Okay. The kids do because they jerk on the cord.
What were you saying?
I'm trying to be transparent. That's what I'm trying to be. But I have to be parent. You know, I want to be transparent. You're making me parent and be upset with kids about things. The fact that, like, okay, I don't know how to say this without coming off like a complete weirdo. I love Jason Mewes. The fact,
wow, that was so weird and creepy.
I'll have to kiss him. No, like we are such huge fans. I was like 12 years old the first time I seen Clerks.
Yeah, and
it legit changed my point of view on comedy and conversation. Like it was influential to me because I felt like, oh, these are that's what I want to be. I was 12 years old, you know what I mean? And I'm watching these guys that are in like their early 20s and stuff and the conversations that they're having. And I'm like, I want to talk to friends like that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. And I feel like the way that like my personality developed over the next few years had a lot to do with Kevin Smith movies like Clerks and Mallrats and, you know, and then like Dogma and all that stuff. But like it started with Clerks and I attached to like to Jay and Dante the most and Randall too, but all of them. But like there was something about Jay, and it wasn't just that how funny he was. It wasn't that like it was his charisma. There was something about that guy that made you want to like hang out with him.
Right.
So I was like, I want to be like that. I want people to want to hang out with me. Like this guy's amazing. So a lot of people say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
And that is true in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
There's I'm not going to say who, but there's comedians I've met where I'm like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
This guy was a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't want to meet him again. Not the case at all with Jay.
Yeah.
He's exactly what you want him to be.
Aww.
Like, he's so nice. He's so cool. He's so funny. I mean, the fact that, like, at one point you called me and was talking, like, through the speakers to me, and Jay was, like, yelling from the back seat stuff at you to just, like, make us all laugh. And I'm like, what is life?
Yeah,
like,
that was weird.
It's so crazy, dude. Like, it's amazing. And, like, I talked to somebody... So I had a show, and I'll talk about that show, but I had a show Saturday night, and I talked to this guy afterwards, because he was just kind of like, man, how'd you get started in comedy, and like, what, you know, how long you been doing this? And I was like, dude, I've not been doing it that long. He's like, well, what made you want to do it? And I said, I did an open mic, and like, it felt right, and then nothing I'd ever done, like, work-wise, ever made me that happy, so I was just like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but like, how'd you do it? And I was like, dude, I just did it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just did it. I just, you know, I do work hard at it, and I try to like be a good guy, and I try to like write material and network and be cool to be around, and I send out emails constantly. But luckily now I don't have to because Jenny's amazing, and my manager is doing a lot of that for me. So thank you, Jenny, if you ever listen to this, which I'm sure you won't. But you know, so it is a lot of work, but like it's just one of those things where it's like it just felt right, man. And my goal now is I want people to know, like, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter like what box you've put yourself in, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. If you don't like it, freaking change it, dude. I don't understand. Like, I do understand because it seems so ridiculous. Yeah. Like sitting in Indiana in, you know, a house that you owe tons of money on, and watching movies and being like, gosh, I want to hang out with them. Like, how many times have I told you we'd be watching like a Kevin Smith movie, and I'd be like, I want to hang out with Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. I feel like they'd like me. Oh yeah, I've said that so many times.
I've always thought that,
and it did.
It's crazy.
It happened.
But to kind of backtrack on what you're saying though is, we are fortunate in the aspect that we do have each other, though. You gotta like kind of pause and think, like, oh, why don't people?
Oh, it's all about Chia.
No.
Oh no, Jay could have done it without Chia. But it is true.
But why? Why can you do it because of me?
No, it is true. Well, for multiple reasons. The
main one.
Well, the main reason is because you push me, you force me to keep going. Okay. I've tried to give up multiple times.
See, that's not the main one to me.
The finances?
Okay. So because...
Well, I was going to say in the beginning it was the finances. That was it, because I could not have quit my day job and went... I feel like you just like so modestly fished for a compliment.
No, because I'm trying to backtrack a little bit more.
Okay, then. Okay. You know what? Pump him and go in reverse.
If I could financially support our family.
I.
But why could I financially support our family?
Because I financially supported you
me
to go through
nursing school.
Well, it's
because I've thought about that many times. I'm like, man, nursing school was really hard, but I got through it. But the only reason I got through it is you took care of us completely financially. You did a million things with the kids to take that load off. Then both of our moms, not everyone has that support system. Yeah. And then my oldest sister, who not only would help with the kids, but would help me in school too.
Sure.
So that's the issue.
It's definitely true, but I think that there is ways, like we also looked at something that is ridiculous and still shot for it. So I think
in both aspects, because really school for me was kind of ridiculous because I'm not good in a school setting.
Right. So what I'm just saying is like the route that I took may not be the route that you can take, but there is a way for you to do it. If you have something that you want to do, if you want to change, if you're not happy in your life, I was suicidal. I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what it boiled down to for me was like, if I want to kill myself, then kill this version of myself and move forward. If life sucks so much that I'm like, I just want to leave this life, well then, how is it going to be any worse if I change these things? Yeah, it might be worse, but I already wanted to die, so what's it matter? And that's what it came down to for me was like, okay, well, I see something that I want, I'm going to go after it, and the worst thing that's going to happen is that I'm going to fail at it, but I'm already miserable, so who cares?
Yeah. And I totally agree. Like, if you have a dream and if you're miserable in your life, yes, you need to change it. You need to go after that dream. But I also understand why people don't, because that can be really scary, especially if you don't have the support system that we had, you know.
No, I think you're right. I just feel like you're being like, stay.
No, I'm not saying
No, you're being
stay.
Like, no, we get it. We get it. Stay where you're at.
I'm just saying, you had said, I don't get why people don't. And I'm saying I do. I understand, and it's scary, but you should still do it, even though it's scary.
I was also saying I do get it, and then you cut me off and said that you think I'm an idiot.
I mean, you might have, but what I had to say was more important.
No, that is true. And I do get what you're saying, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm like, oh, you could do it too.
Yeah, like, why aren't you doing it right now?
But legit, if you hate your life, and you hate the position that you're in, and if you wake up every single day and hate what's happening, start making plans.
Yeah, start taking those steps.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if we're being completely transparent, you don't like the job you're at now.
No.
You do, but you do, but you don't.
Okay, let's be totally honest. I don't like the position I'm in.
Right.
So hopefully after I do it for a little bit longer, I'll completely fall in love with it. I used to be a patient care tech before I was a nurse and loved it.
Yeah.
I would work 60 hours a week sometimes and be tired, but still be pumped about my job.
Yeah.
I don't like being a nurse that much.
But you know what? And I think some people would be like, that's so ridiculous. You worked so hard for this.
Yeah.
That was your dream. It's what you wanted. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't like doing comedy, if I got to the point to where I was just like, this wasn't it, then I think that's also okay.
And I think that's why, even though I don't want to go back to school, I need to push myself to go back and get my RN, because there's a certain field of nursing that I had always wanted to do, but because I got my LPN first instead of my RN, I wasn't able to do it. I want to be an ortho-neural nurse. I want bones. Yeah. Bones and brains.
Yeah, you like bones. You pervert. No, so the show's going back to it. Like, we got on a weird thing. But it's because, like, that was such a great weekend. Mm-hmm. It was very stressful. There was a lot of stressful things because I worked harder that weekend than I have any weekend doing comedy, because me and AJ are also doing like other things for Jay. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to film a TV show with him. We're starting to do a podcast. Like, we've got all these things in the works that we're doing, to where it's like in between shows we're having to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so like, it wasn't really, but it was like a good stressful. It was just like, this is what I want. This is good. I love this. Like, I'm so pumped to be doing this. And then the drive home sucked. But that's because I had to like take them to the airport, drop them off, and then drive home. And I was up for like 24 hours, 6-hour drive. Rough. But whatever. That's part of the job. So those shows were amazing. The crowd was so great. Like, man, we had so much fun. Like, there wasn't a bad crowd. Mm-hmm. Like, we had 3 shows, and every single show, people were amazing. We felt great.
Good.
And so those were fantastic. Those were such fun shows. And then I had a show Saturday. So I came home that was last Sunday. I came home. Didn't have anything all week. And then Saturday I had a show. And it was a private gig. So the way that this one happened was because my friends were doing it. And I don't get to be around them very often since I'm gone a lot. And they were like, do you want to come do this show? And I was like, yeah, let's do it just to hang out. You know what I mean? Like, that's totally fine. Because I knew it was going to be like a super small show. And on the way there, the guy who booked it, one of my friends, Eric Hook, in town, Eric was like, it's a birthday party. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, no.
I was like, dude, you're joking. And he kind of laughed about it. He's like, no, but I think it's going to be fine. He's like, there's going to be like 30 or 40 people there. So I was like, all right, well, at least I get to hang out with you. So I was kind of like jokingly making fun of the gig like the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then they were, of course, it was like, oh, big time Jake over here. Can't do birthday parties. And so then I started to feel bad. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But it's just, I've done shows like that before. Mm-hmm. And they're not good.
Yeah.
They suck. That's never fun. Totally don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That was one of the best shows I've ever done.
Oh, really?
I had so much fun. The people were amazing. Eric did such a good job of just hosting it, setting everything up. Grant Volkmar was on the show. Of course, I love hanging out with Grant. James Tanford is one of my favorite local comedians. He was there. So it was just like cool to hang out with my friends, but then also the people, like, it was so different. It was literally in someone's living room. Mm. And it was a birthday party for like a local DJ down in like Washington, Indiana. Mm-hmm. And they're called the Sunday Fun Day crew.
Okay.
And they get together every single Sunday. It's 30 or 40 friends who get together like every single Sunday and just have a party.
Oh, nice.
And have fun and everything. They play games. They do all these different things. It's like it's like a movie. Like, it's like friends you see in a movie that all get together. And they all loved each other so much. There was like such this bond between everyone that by the time that we went up and got on the microphone, we couldn't say anything wrong.
Yeah.
Everything we said made them laugh.
Oh, good.
And of course, we were all kind of like listening to them at the party and like kind of like picking up little details so that way whenever we were on the mic, we could do crowd work and like, and like kind of like make fun. Like, there was a guy there named Swayze. That's what they call him, is Swayze.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because he's a very good looking guy.
Yeah.
So just like making fun of him a little bit. And it was just so nice because I didn't do any material hardly at all. Mm-hmm. Literally just went up and just started talking. There was a girl that was next to me. Pretty sure she peed her pants. I know she said she was going to, and then she got really quiet for a while. And so I think she did. So it was just so much fun. And then last night at Hoppy Wobbles, so Hoppy Wobbles, I talked about this a couple times on the podcast. Hoppy Wobbles lets me run a show. Mm-hmm. So Sean, the owner, gave me the room. I'm allowed to book whoever I want, basically. And at 6 o'clock, right now at 6 o'clock, I'm going to talk to Sean. I think I'm going to push it to 7. But at the moment, at 6 o'clock, every Sunday, there's a free show in Bloomington. And sometimes, like, the comedians that are in there. Like last night, it was Evan Burke and Will Abels from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Those are amazing comedians. And they're just my friends, so they just came and did the show.
Yeah.
And, you know, me and Sean give them a little bit of money. We do tips and everything, so, like, they do get money. I say me and Sean, mostly Sean. But, so they get money for it and everything, but it's not that much money. But the fact that it's a free show with these amazing comedians is great. And sometimes people don't even show up. It's like, I don't know if they don't know about it. So for anyone listening that loves comedy, try to pick at least like one Sunday a month.
Yeah.
To go to Hoppy Wobble, support the show. It's literally called the Laugh and Be Blessed Comedy Show. Mm-hmm. So the podcast sponsors it. So that's literally what it's called. It's this podcast's comedy show. And I'm on some of them.
Yeah.
And if I'm not on them, the people I put on them are my friends and people who I think are super funny. It's free. It's at Hoppy Wobble's Pub in Bloomington, Indiana, on the west side of town. It's right next to Little Blues Tattoos, Naughty Dog. It's in that little strip mall right there. It used to be called Talker's Tap Room. Right by Big Lots. So it's like right over there. It's again, free show, 6 o'clock. And then after that free show, at 8 o'clock, we have an open mic. And that's a great place to, if you want to try comedy, go there. That's where I started.
I was going to say, so it has been 3 years this month since you did your first open mic at that bar.
And now I'm Jason Mewes touring opener.
That's crazy.
In 3 years.
Crazy.
It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. So anyway, so those are the shows that I've had that I like. I had a great time last night. And also the open mics. There's been some great comedians coming through these open mics. And I've had, like, childhood friends of mine are now coming to these open mics and starting to do comedy.
Yeah.
Like, just go check it out. If nothing else, please show up at Hoppy Wobbles for me to support the bar so he continues to let me do it. I don't even drink and I go. But here's a cool thing. Hopefully the podcast is going to have a new sponsor soon.
Yeah.
Because Sean is actually talking to a couple of brewing companies to try to get me a signature non-alcoholic craft beer.
That'd be awesome.
I'm really into this.
Yeah.
I'm so into this.
I wanted to bring up something because we were talking about chasing your dreams and everything and how, you know, there's all kinds of obstacles and stuff. And Obstacles. But you will have naysayers. So your show you went to Saturday.
Yeah.
You were the only one who brought...
T-shirts, yeah.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
And so, you know, again, you've only been doing this for 3 years. And maybe sometime within your first year, you started having, like, buttons and magnets, and then you've moved up to T-shirts.
Well, people were coming up to me asking me for stuff.
Right.
After shows, they would be like, hey, do you have a T-shirt or anything I can buy? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Which I will give a huge shout out. The first person that really started asking was Kate. Kate is the producer of this show, basically. Like, I don't know what else to call her. She supports us like more than anyone. She's literally the #1 fan.
Yeah.
She's amazing. So she's on vacation right now. So Kate, hopefully having an amazing vacation. You're awesome. But she was the first one that came up to me. The first time she seen me at an open mic, she came up to me afterwards and she said, do you have a T-shirt I can buy? And I was like, no.
Yeah. So... how much support did you get?
0.
Yep.
I mean, it was like people, no one was like super rude to my face. People would kind of like sneer a little bit and they would mock me a little, not a ton, but a little bit. But I have a lot of friends who are cool in the scene that would tell me like, oh, these guys are making fun of you basically for doing this. They just think that you shouldn't be doing this early on. And maybe they were right about that early on, but the reason I'm okay with it is because I learned how to do it to where now that I'm at a point that I have to do it in order to basically, like 70% of the money I make now is merch. So if I don't sell shirts and hats and koozies and stuff like that, I don't make enough money to do this for a living.
Right.
So whenever I don't do that, it makes 0 sense. But I learned how to do it because I did it early on. So you're right. Who cares?
Right.
People are going to be dumb about it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like who? Like
you
last
just gotta
night,
take the shot and do it.
Actually, one of the comedians who was never rude to me, but would say stuff kind of be like, well, why are you doing this like so early on? Like, why are you selling shirts? He was never really rude about it, but you could tell he was kind of like, this is dumb. He's now like, he literally told me Saturday, he was like, dude, at first, like, we were all kind of like, why is he doing this? He's like, but I see it. Like, he's like, dude, yeah, this is the route. And I was helping him come up with ideas for his merch, because I told him, I was like, dude, get merch. Like, I literally made almost 3 times as much as they did, just because I brought stuff. Now, here's the thing, is that I'm not saying this to toot my own horn or anything. I gave them some of the money. Yeah. They're my friends. We were all doing a show together, so I broke them off a little bit because like they just didn't have it. Yeah. I don't care. Like, to me, I'm the type of comedian that I feel like if we're all winning, then we're all winning. Who cares? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, he's getting something that I'm not getting, or I feel like I deserve that more than him. I'm not going to do that. Like, dude, go get yours. You know, me and AJ's a perfect example of that. Me and AJ started comedy within a month of each other. That dude is leaps and bounds above me. Like, he is so funny, and he's just like, he's a star. He's skyrocketing. It'd be super easy for me to be jealous of that. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, there is a certain amount of jealousy about it. Sometimes I see him do stuff and I'm like, dang. Yeah. Ugh. Like, I see his TikTok get 2 million views in like 11 hours. And I'm like, geez, dude. Wow. I got 400 in 7 years, you know? But like, so there is, but it's like a healthy jealousy. You know what I mean? It's not like a jealousy where I'm angry or I'm upset with him or I feel like he doesn't deserve it. It helps drive you. Yeah, it makes me want to be better. But what overrides that
jealousy then, or admiration?
Possibly, yeah. But what overrides that, you know, jealousy or admiration or whatever, what overrides that is how pumped I am for my dude. Yeah. How stoked I am that he's getting what he gets. Like, that dude deserves it. He works hard. He's super funny. And I love him. And I'm so happy that he's getting what he is getting. So I think that's the way it should be. I think it's okay to be jealous to a certain extent. But, like, a healthy jealousy. Yeah. Like, be driven by it. Don't be stupid about it. So, I don't know. So that's what the shows I've been doing. Yeah. But I have shows coming up. Yeah.
Mark your calendars. Jake could be coming to a town near you.
Now, here's the thing. I'm excited about this month, the month of March, because I have the next 2 weekends with nothing. And I'm not making that sound like, oh, I'm so happy I don't have to do anything. But for the last few months, I've been gone like every single weekend. So I'm excited. Why are you going to eat?
I was looking for the spots earlier.
Okay, well, just mute the mic before you put anything in your mouth. Don't be weird about that.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you said it. So anyways, the next 2 weeks, I'm excited because I just get to be home with you guys. So that makes me happy that I'm just going to be home. Wow, that sounds really good now that, because there's no echo. So
you just don't want my mic on at all.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But it just, I don't know. It's, at least in the headphones, it sounds a lot different. So, yeah, the fact that like I just get to be home for the next 2 weeks with you guys, it makes me very happy. So, but what I do have coming up is March 27th, I'm going to be at the Bardstown in Kentucky. And it's Bardstown, Kentucky, and the theater, I believe, is called the Bardstown. I don't know if it's a theater or a bar. I don't know. I've never been there. I hear good things. But me and AJ are going to be there doing our 2-man show. We're super excited about it. We've only done this a few times. Go ahead.
Is this your official first time doing it?
No.
Booked for the 2-man show?
Technically, yes. Did you unmute your mic?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so what was your question for everybody listening at home?
I know you've done the 2-man show. Like, the first time you did it was just kind of on a whim. Yeah. But is this your first time actually being booked for the 2-man show?
Technically, because we did do it at Hoppy Wobbles one night, but it was because the people that were supposed to be there couldn't make it, so it was like a last-minute thing where we just had to fill in. So, technically, yes, this is the first, like, actual gig that we're doing as the 2-man show. So it's called Shake and Jake. We were going to call it Are You High Right Now? Because that one made a lot of sense. But I think we're going to start a podcast called Shake and Jake. And it's just like, well, then let's just call it that. So
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
It a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so
why are you laughing?
Just the way, like, you forcefully swallowed that chocolate like so hard before you did it. You're just like, I like that.
Did you hear anything?
No, but
You complain no matter what. I swear.
Okay, you can swear all you want. So that's March 27th, Bardstown. And then March 31st, I will be at the Blue Room in Springfield, Missouri with my hombre, Dusty Slay. Super stoked to do this show with him. I've not worked with Dusty in a while. I got to hang out with him a while back. That was nice, and we chat often.
Yeah, that was so random.
I think
we talked about it already.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, super random. So I'm really stoked to go hang out with him and do these shows. So that'll be March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd at the Blue Room in Springfield, Missouri. That's going to be so much fun. And then April 6th, I'm going to be in the Bronx, New York with AJ. We've got a show at Mamawana Cafe in the Bronx. And then Niagara Community College, April 7th. And then University of Pitt Bradford, I will be there with AJ April 8th. And then La Crosse, Wisconsin. I'm coming back to La Crosse. I'm very excited about this. I'll be there April 16th at Moxie's, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
So as of right now, after the 8th, you don't have anything till the 16th? As of right now.
As of right now, there are some things that we
tentative.
Yes, because supposedly we may be going to do Comic-Cons with Jay.
Okay.
So if we end up doing that, then there are some Comic-Cons that are I think the 10th, 11th, and 12th or something like that, that we may be at. But I don't have details on those yet because we're just not 100%. So that's where I'll be. Mm-hmm. If you need more information, go to jakerubel.com. I should have, I've not updated my shows yet, but I should do that this week. So I've just been very lazy. So
that's been nice.
Here's a segment we've not been able to do for a while, and I'm super excited to talk about this. I'm very stoked.
What games are we playing?
That's right. We're back into games. Oh, well, I'm back into games.
I played a game.
What'd you play? Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll get into that. So, I've not played... Now, we're not going to talk about board games. We've still not been playing board games. We play Cards Against Humanity once a month with my mom and Junior, but we've not really been playing board games at all. Although I say that, but here lately I keep looking at the Marvel Champions and Marvel Legendary and being like, I'm going to bust those out. And I'm still buying board games occasionally. So, there's 10 new ones that are just not open. Oh,
Lord.
I know. So, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is we're talking about video games. Now, I don't know how long it's been since I've, legit sat down and, really got into a video game. It's been a while.
Yeah.
For sure, it's been a while. But I was at my mom's house, and the kids, every time they're over there, they're playing my little brother's VR. He's got the Oculus Quest 2 or whatever, and it is insane. The VR is insane. But he used to have a PlayStation VR, and the kids are always arguing because they don't get enough time on it before they have to come home and everything. So we were talking about getting them a VR. But then I was thinking, well, if Zach's not playing his old one anymore, I wonder what he's doing with it. So I asked him the other day, hey dude, you got that VR? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, how much do you want for it? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And then we were talking about it, and I ended up buying him a video game, and he gave me the VR. So it was $60, which is a good deal. But then I found out after I bought the video game for him, he was like, I was just going to give it to you.
Oh, God.
I was like, you're such my brother. He's like, I was just going to give it, and then you offered money. So I was like, okay. So I got a PlayStation VR, brought it home. Holy macaroni.
Is it fun?
Oh my gosh.
It is fun.
So
I played it.
The first couple times that I played it, I just I don't know. Because I only had Minecraft. Minecraft's the dumbest video game ever invented. I hate it so much. I don't even hate video games. I kind of hate that video game. It's so dumb and pointless, and I hate it. So I played that a little bit. That sucked. Then the next day, but then I downloaded some games. The next day I played some games, and the one that did it for me was Star Wars Squadrons. Holy crap. So we talk about going to Disney World all the time, which we didn't. We never did a podcast on our last trip to Disney World. We still have to do one.
Oh.
Yeah, we've never done that.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay.
So we love going, and my favorite thing at Disney World is Star Wars. I love going to Edge of the Galaxy.
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge, whatever.
Wow.
Shut up. I'm not even a fan. So, whatever. Edge of the Galaxy sounds cooler to me.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
It doesn't to you? Galaxy's Edge sounds cooler than Edge of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. So I love going there, and I love playing. I love riding the Star Wars rides. The like, what do you call immersive rides? The ones where it makes you feel like you're in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you're
like
flying.
you're immersed in it.
Yeah, like an immersion. This VR game is that. It felt like I was sitting in a chair in my bedroom and felt like I was in Disney World. It was amazing. Like you're legit flying an X-Wing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And whenever I first started, like I would get like motion sickness and stuff. And I'd have to be like super careful. But after I played it for a while, now I'm doing like barrel rolls and I'm like looking out the window, like as I'm flying, I'm like looking over to the window and like looking at all the other planes flying and stuff, ships.
Wow.
Shut up. It's so dope. It's so amazing. So that one's cool. And then I got a game, Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. A little too spooky.
Did you get scared?
It's a little much. I do like it, but it's very real when I'm stabbing something in the head and I have to jerk my hand to pull the knife back out.
Ew.
And I'm like, this is a little squeamish. You know, but I'm still gonna play it because I'm also kind of into it. So
do you hear my least favorite?
Squelching? Yeah, it squelches a whole lot.
I hate it. I didn't even know what the name for that sound was until we watched The Walking Dead, and we always have caption on, and it'll be like squelching, 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 and I'm like, ew.
So those games are awesome, and then there's a game called Beat Saber. And Beat Saber...
Is that what I played?
Yes.
I like that.
Beat Saber, it's basically, think of Guitar Hero with lightsabers, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I get it, but stay with me. You have lightsabers, and there are blocks that are flying towards you, and as the blocks are flying towards you, you have to hit them with a specific lightsaber in a specific direction because they have arrows on them. So kind of like how Guitar Hero has like the collars that come at you and you have to hit them with the right finger and everything. It's the same thing with lightsabers, so it's more like percussion though.
Yeah.
And it's all in VR, so these blocks are flying right at you and you have to like dance and move. It forces you to move because like walls come flying at you.
Yeah, they're not
everything.
Doorways.
They're not doors. Don't go
Move
through them
out
like
of the
Chia tried. But that was so much fun. The only thing I have to look and see if I can get more music. That's the only thing that sucks. There's like a Linkin Park playlist on there. I really like that. That's kind of it. They also have Green Day. Don't like Green Day. They have Imagine Dragons. Not a huge fan. They have Lady Gaga. What?
They have Lady Gaga?
I'm sure you're into that. I'm
do
not.
that.
So that is super fun. But then because of that, I started playing that. It got me like kind of back into gaming. I was just like, okay, now let's play some games. So I played Elden Ring, which was the game. It's the game that I bought for Zach. So I gave him $60. He downloaded the game, and then he gave me his PlayStation login account. So I came home, logged into his PlayStation account, downloaded the games I wanted from his catalog, including Elden Ring, and then logged back into my account. So, like, I literally bought myself this game and got a VR. So, like, we swindled each other. But Elden Ring, I started playing that a little bit. I didn't get very much into it. But then I played a game called Days Gone, which is another zombie game. But it's like where you were in a motorcycle club. And then the zombie apocalypse. So you're like a biker in the zombie apocalypse. I'm liking this game.
Yeah.
I'm liking it quite a bit. Quite a bit. We need to get your Switch sent off and fixed.
Yeah, we do.
So all we have to do is mail it in.
Well...
So let's mail that in this week, so that way you can start playing games too.
I would love that, because I have a big chunk of days that I'll be off, and you'll be gone a lot, and the kids will be in school, and I would love just to lay around and play Switch.
Yeah, because I take my Switch with me.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to play yours, so yeah, we got to...
Yeah, I take mine with me because I play it in the hotel room sometimes.
Gosh, dang it, mine probably won't be back in time.
I can leave it. I don't have to
We'll
bring
see.
it.
We'll see when it gets closer.
All right. So... do you feel like you'll play the VR more now? Like, do you feel like you'll play more video games with the VR? You don't think so?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You just didn't like it that much?
I mean, I just will have to get up, so...
See, I liked that. There was a couple of games that I played that like really made, like afterwards I took it off and I was like, my arms are tired. I was like, that was a workout. If I can play a video game to work out, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Let me get shredded. Let me get shredded while I'm fighting Shredder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see. I gotcha.
Speaking of which, they are releasing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game catalog is coming out to new consoles. So that is something that we will for sure be getting. Every Ninja Turtle game.
So we can get on the Switch?
Yep.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be on all the consoles, I believe. Awesome. But yeah, it's like all the retro ones. I'm so into this. But we've also been watching some good movies.
Oh, yeah.
What are we watching?
Not only movies, but television shows.
Yes.
So I want to start with that. Is it okay if I start with that?
Start.
I started rewatching Smallville. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
I've been rewatching Supernatural, and oh god, it makes me so happy. But you kind of started rewatching it too, but you're not where I am. So I like whenever, like last night when you were gone, I was watching Supernatural. And then when you came home, I finished up that episode, but I didn't want to watch another one because you're not where I am. But then you started watching Smallville, and I was like, okay, I'll watch this too.
Yeah, it's so good. It's such a great show. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't hold up as far as like anything, but like if it's something that you watched like when you were younger, like we were teenagers whenever we watched that show. Which is crazy that we were teenagers together, and look at us now. What?
Oh.
But whenever we watched that the first time, like it literally, I would get the Netflix
I was
DVDs.
Gonna say that.
Like I would have the Netflix DVDs mailed to me. I loved that show so much. And for Christmas, remember for Christmas, like every single year for Christmas, somebody would get like Dad's family, like you would have a person you bought a gift for.
Yeah.
And every year I would say, I need Smallville season 4.
Yeah.
Or Smallville season 6. Like whatever it was.
I think we had up to season like 5 or something. And then we quit watching it for a while. And then when we started watching it again, Netflix still wasn't the way it is now. Yeah. And we were married. And we upgraded so we get two
discs at a time. So that way we could watch one disc, and whenever that one was done, we would mail that back, watch the second disc.
And by the time we were done with that, the next one would come.
So we were just switching it back and forth, and that's how we watched Smallville. And I like those, and that'll tie into the topic of the show, because things like that are my favorite memories.
Yeah.
I love that stuff so much. But so I've been rewatching Smallville. I just swallowed an entire mustache. That was weird. You've been rewatching Supernatural.
Yes. It just gives me all the feelings.
Yeah.
I love it. I love, especially like some of the characters that you love so much. I'd be watching it and it's like, I'm in season 6 now, but like season 4, I'm like, what in the world? When's Crawley come in? Yeah. When does Death come in? I'm like Googling it because I'm like, I need something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because like shows like this for us, it's just comfort food. Mm-hmm. Like it's basically just us. It's just comfort food for us. Like it's nice to be able to put a show on. Now with with Smallville, I literally put the show on because I didn't want to pay attention to anything. I wanted to just put on a TV show and do a couple of other things that's whenever I was like cleaning.
Yeah.
So that's right. I cleaned our room.
Yeah, you did.
So whenever I'm cleaning, I put that on. But then it ended up to the point to where I was like, oh, I have to sit down and watch this now. So now I'm like into it. And I'm only on season 2 or 3, but like I'm really into it. And I love this show so much. And if you've never watched Smallville, but you like, Flash and Arrow and all those superhero shows, you owe it to yourself to go back and watch Smallville, because everybody calls it the Arrowverse, and everybody says that Arrow kicked off all like the superhero shows. Bologna. Mm-hmm. It was Smallville.
Yeah.
Smallville's the one that really started it. Now there was ones before, obviously. There was Lois and Clark and stuff like that. There was ones before, But this is the one I feel like that people like took a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
Now, it was Monster of the Week. It was it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
It's a teenage melodrama, which I love. I love Degrassi. I love Smallville. I don't care what anyone says. I will sit down and watch all of those types of shows. You should probably watch
Gilmore Girls.
I probably will. I'll watch One Tree Hill. I'm going to rewatch Dawson's Creek. You don't come at me like that.
Dawson's Creek.
But so it's just, it is not like Arrow's very serious. Like, it's serious.
Yes.
Not so much with Smallville.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that it's a little lighthearted. Mm-hmm. So, been watching those. But you finally started watching some movies that I've been wanting to rewatch.
Yes. It took me a while to be brave enough to watch them. But I have now started watching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I don't know why they scared me so bad because they're awful cheesy.
I told you. I kept telling you that.
But they're good. So we were actually watching the third one. I won't be able to finish it today.
Right.
But
yeah. What do you think so far? So you're
first one
almost through the third one.
Yeah, the first one it's great. It's a classic.
It's so good.
Your first appearance of Johnny Depp ever.
Yeah. First movie Johnny Depp was in.
So
Glenn.
Yeah. So it's really good. Second one's crap.
It's so horrible.
It's awful.
It is such a bad movie.
It makes no sense in the Freddy world. The main guy, I don't know what he's doing, if that's what acting is, I don't know.
It's so bad.
This one is Dream Warriors. It's so far amazing. So
one
far
of my
my
favorites.
favorite.
Yeah, this is Dream Warriors might be my favorite. It's at least one of my favorite. It's the one that I think of the most.
The only other one that I would say is my favorite.
Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I watched that whenever we were watching all the Jason movies.
Yeah.
Which I've still not watched all of Jason X.
Okay.
And, so it's a little ridiculous, but I want to finish it.
I don't think it's bad, but it's not horrible.
We were watching Myrtle Beach on someone else's account. By the way, when you go to Airbnbs and hotels,
log out of your account.
Log out of your account because I will watch stuff, and if I click on your kids' profile and pick a horror movie,
it's on you.
I mean, maybe don't yell at your kids. If they say it wasn't me, it might not have been. You might have not logged out.
Look, it's just we could log out of your account and log into our account, but we don't want to because then we might forget. Lazy. We might forget to log out, so we're not going to do that. So I did start. I will say this: and I'll be quick on this. I did start watching the new Batman movie. I went to the theaters. I rented a private theater, and me and Jay and AJ went. And actually, we did like a giveaway thing where it was like for the people who got VIP tickets, could be entered into a raffle, and we chose 20 people to come to the movies with us, which was pretty cool. And so we went to the movies with 20 people in Huntsville, Alabama. And only stayed for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, because your timing was off.
Our timing was off. That's my fault. I'm the one who rented the theater. Timing was off, so we ended up having to leave and go get ready for the next show. But in the 20 to 25 minutes of what I did see of the movie, that was such a good Batman movie.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to finish watching it. It was awesome. So I think that's all. I think we're caught up on like what we've been watching. Yeah. I know there's something that you want to talk about, so let's get into that.
Always.
Here's what we're reading.
All right, hit us, Mama.
All right, it's my favorite topic, as most of you know. It is. Where are you at, Jake?
What?
On how many books?
How many books have I read?
Yeah.
So, obviously, we're talking about, we do a challenge every single year to see who can read the most books. I'm slacking off a little bit this year because I've just been reading some pretty big books. So, this year, I decided not to read such large books. I decided not to go the Stephen King route all year like usual. So, I'm at 16 of 40.
Uh-oh.
What are you at?
I'm at 17.
Ooh, you're still beating me. You're still beating me.
Barely, though. Barely. I'm trying to see when I finish some of these books. So
well, I will say this. Like, a lot of this is because I'm at 16, but I'm reading graphic novels mostly. There's a lot of graphic novels that I've been wanting to get into. I just haven't done it. And this year I was like, I'm going to start reading the ones that I want. So like I've been reading The Walking Dead a lot. I started this year on volume 16, and I'm now on volume 21 of The Walking Dead. Or I'm on 22. I just finished 21. And I'm really, really enjoying it. But I also read Batman Cacophony by Kevin Smith. It was decent. It wasn't amazing. It was okay. It wasn't like I'm not going to go back and reread it. But it was good. It was a good Batman story, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is like this is the story or anything like that. But I did read The Hard Goodbye, Sin City Volume 1. Oh, that's the first time I've read Sin City.
Oh, really? You've never read it?
Never read. I've read like some of the single issues, but I've never like sat down and actually read
the whole story.
So I got Volume 1 whenever I think last time I was in Nashville, maybe or somewhere. I got Volume 1. I just read that. Loved it so much. Plus, like Marv is my favorite character in the movies, so I liked that it kicked off with Marv's story.
Okay.
So I'll be getting Volume 2 soon. Probably next time I go to a comic book store, I'll pick up Volume 2.
Okay.
So I'm into that. But yeah, mostly just The Walking Dead. So so that's 16 for the year, which means, and I have 40 books is my goal. Okay. I'm at 16 of 40, which means I am 9 books ahead of schedule. I am 40% finished with my goal for the year. Now, if you want to keep track of what you're reading, if you want to know how we keep track of our page counts and our numbers and all that stuff, we use the Goodreads app. And you can just go into the Goodreads app, go to your reading goals, plug in what your goal is, and it keeps track of that for you. So, Chia, what do you got?
All right. I am at 17.
Okay.
So I'm only 1 book ahead. So hopefully I'll take care of that tonight. That puts me, my goal is only 20. It was 15 last year. It's 20 this year, but I read, I think, 36 last year. So, but that puts me 14 books ahead of schedule, 85% of the way to meet my goal.
Nice.
So since we last talked, I have finished 3 books. My favorite romance writer is Lexi Ryan. I've talked about these smut books.
Romance.
I love them.
Okay.
They are romance.
Sure.
With a little sexy
I was going to say, if that's what romance is, then I'm doing good in my life.
But I had recently finished all of her books that were in her New Hope universe. So I'm going back to reading the Boys of Jackson Harbor series. And I've read the first and second book, and I'm currently reading the third book. Totally different type of genre. I also finished Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So what I am currently reading right now, I am reading, like I said, the third book in the Jackson Harbor series, The Boys of Jackson Harbor. I am reading The Deathly Hallows. That's my audiobook. And the romance book is always my ebook. And then I'm still working on Homegoing. I've left it home. The past few times I worked, I think I would have got through it by now if I had taken it to work. Just because anytime I have downtime, I might read like 10 pages and then bring it home and read some. But if it just stays home, then I only read it, obviously, when I'm here. These past 2 days, I didn't read squat. I literally stayed in bed and just watched TV. I watched a lot of Supernatural. I did watch, we didn't talk about another movie we watched. The new Space Jam movie.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So
we can talk about that next week.
That's where I am with books. So hopefully when we record next week, I'll be at 19 or 20. I'm going to make it a goal. I'll be at 20.
Okay, cool.
I'll have my goal complete.
I didn't say what books I'm currently reading. I guess I should have, because you said what ones you're working on now.
You always have to say that.
I know, I just forgot. So I am reading Walking Dead, Volume 22. I'm reading Thrawn, which is, this is my audiobook. It's by Timothy Zahn. It's a really great Star Wars book. The Thrawn trilogy was one of my favorite series that I've ever read, so I'm really excited to read kind of like where Thrawn got started. I'm reading The Restaurant at the Edge of the Galaxy. That is my ebook that I am reading. And my physical book, other than The Walking Dead, that I'm technically still reading but is kind of on pause, is The Shining. I'm technically still reading it, but it is on pause. So that is what we're reading. Hopefully you guys get something from that, and it kind of encourages you. I will say this. I have gotten some messages from people that say, hey, you guys talking about reading has made me want to read more, and I don't really know where to start. What would you recommend? We are more than happy to give you recommendations. And basically what I did was ask a couple questions, like what are you into, like what's your favorite movies and stuff like that. So if you want to get back into reading but you don't know where to start, we encourage it. We would love to tell you what you should read. We love telling people what to do. So yeah. So you can reach out to us at Jake and Chia Rubel's Blessed Ones on Facebook, the Facebook group there, and just you can message us or just like write a comment. Comments are usually the best because then you're going to get multiple people in the community giving you their opinion. And we got a great community. Like no one's rude, no one's a jerk. Everyone in the community is great. So thank you all for doing that. Which brings me to a very important part of this podcast.
Thank you to the Patreon Blessed Ones.
That's right. We have such a great community. We have so many great friends and family members that love us, and we love them, and they support the show. And honestly, we love it. It helps us kind of stay on our toes. And there's multiple ways to support the show. I'll tell you the easiest way to support the show, if you like what we're doing here, is give us a review. Wherever you're listening to this, just give us a review, subscribe to it, and all that. Share it on social media. Let people know about it. That helps a ton. The reviews go a very long way. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, please give us an iTunes review. 5 stars only. Come on, don't be a jerk. So that's one way to support us. Another way to support us is by joining the group on Facebook, Jake and Chia Rules Blessed Ones, and just being a part of the community and posting things that you're reading and what you're watching. If you have movie recommendations, book recommendations, video game recommendations, any of that stuff, or if you have a specific topic that you want us to talk about, that is the place to do that. So go to Jake and Chia Rubel's Blessed Ones on Facebook, join there. But the way to really bless the show and become a true blessed one, obviously, is through our Patreon support. Why don't you mute the mic while you're doing all that crap?
I didn't think about it. I'm
Jesus. So if you want to support us by throwing a little bit of cash at us, we do appreciate that, and it does go back into the podcast. So it helps us buy new things, and as I've said before, we're working on getting an actual studio for the podcast.
Yes.
So that way we can start doing a video of the podcast where we will be on YouTube, because right now on YouTube it's just the audio. So hopefully that is coming soon, and we wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for everyone that is on our Patreon. Chia, who's on our Patreon?
I hate when you do this.
I know, but you have to know the blessed ones.
All right. Shan. Fawn.
That's it. Keep going. That's it. We're done. That's it.
Lindsay. Rachel.
Yep.
Danielle.
Yep.
Your mama. Amber.
Nope.
No. Jared?
Yeah. Amber doesn't love us.
Oh, man. I thought she did.
Nope. Just Jared. So, Jared was the first one to subscribe, so you almost forgot his name. You're a jerk.
No, I didn't. No. I was going to say him, too, but I thought Amber was one.
So, thank you who subscribe or whatever, donate to the podcast. Thank you so much. It's a free show, and the fact that people want to give us a little bit of money to continue to do the show and make the show better, we really do appreciate. Also, thank you to Michael Rubadue, who does the music for the podcast. You make it sound better. We literally just got a message the other day from somebody that said that they love the music in the podcast. It makes it sound so great. So thank you to my brother for doing the music. We love you so much, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Patreon supporters. If you want to support us on Patreon, it's very easy. Go to patreon.com/laughandbeblessed. There's 3 different tiers that you can just give us a little bit of donations. That's fine. If you can't do it, don't do it.
Right.
We don't want you to stretch yourself or anything like that. But if you can do it and help us reach a goal of getting this new studio, that would be the dopeness. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys for doing that. And it makes me feel very good inside, which brings us to our next segment.
And now it's time for a mental health check-in.
Obviously, this is one of our favorite parts of the podcast. It's where we get to do mental health check-in. We don't always do it because sometimes whenever mental health is going great for you, you tend to not think about mental health, which I think is okay. Mm-hmm. But we want to make sure that we do it to check in with everybody else and see how everybody else is doing, because mental health is super important. It is very important to take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, all that stuff. Emotionally. So this is just a part where we would just want to take stock. Like, think for a moment, like, how are you doing today mentally? Is there anything that you feel like you can tweak or change a little bit to just make you have a little bit better?
Do one thing a day just for you. I mean,
yeah. And like, that's a great point. Doing one thing a day, even if it's a small thing, do one thing a day that's just for you. And let that grow. I mean, now it's to the point to where whenever we would do that in the beginning, we felt selfish. Mm-hmm. Like, if we literally just took a second just to sit or just to read something or play a game or do something just for ourselves, we would feel guilty. Even if you would feel guilty going to lunch with friends. Mm-hmm. And you just be like, well, I feel like I'm taking time away from the family, or I could be doing something else. Mm-hmm. To where, like, now I'm going to get a massage today. You know, like we're going to get pedicures. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing stuff for ourselves.
Yeah.
And it took a while for us to get to that point to where we felt okay doing it. But, treat yourself.
That's right.
So take care of yourself. I feel great mentally right now. Mm-hmm. Things are going very good for me. Not just like in my career, but like just life in general. Like, I have great kids. I still feel like a horrible father all the time. I feel like
I still feel like a bad mom all the time.
I think that's what makes us good parents. Honestly, I think that because we always feel guilty that we're not doing enough for our kids, I think it means that we're actually good parents.
I hope so.
Because if we never...
Time will tell.
Yeah, like if we never cared, if we were just like, whatever, then I feel like that's whenever it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Probably not the best parent. But because we're always like, are we doing enough for them? Are we spending enough time with them? Are we making life fun for them? I think that's important. So I will never feel like a good dad.
I don't think I'll ever feel like a good mom.
I don't think I'm ever going to feel like a good dad. So that's where we're at with that. And that's fine. I love my kids.
I do too. I love your kids.
I love yours. That's cool. So, just take a second. How are you feeling?
Pretty okay. Like I said, I'm in a weird spot right now where I don't like being a nurse. I think it's because I excelled so well as a tech. Mm-hmm. And I knew I was good at it, but everyone would always compliment me and tell me I was the best tech and everything. I'd be like, no, I'm not. Now that I'm a nurse, I'm like, oh my God, like, now I see how much of a load I actually took off my nurses. So no wonder why they always wanted to work with me. I was really good at it. And it never even occurred to me how much of a load I was taking off of them, because I was like, no, I want to work. I'm enjoying this. Let me do this for you. Let me do that. So now that I'm a nurse, it's just very different. Being a tech is very physical and it's very emotional. Being a nurse is, you have those aspects, but you also, it's very mental. Yeah. And I don't like that. I don't like having to do all this critical thinking stuff. I just want to go take care of somebody. Sure. So I've not found that groove yet, and people have argued with me, and I know they're wrong. I'm not a great nurse. I'm an okay nurse. No one's going to die on my watch. I will make sure you don't die. But
that's good. I think that's like number one. What you should.
But if you're,
I'm doing okay. You're not going to freaking die.
If you're another nurse and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, don't go find Chia. Go find the other nurse, because that's the answer you're going to need is from them, not from me, because I'm going to look at you and be like, let's go find Debbie. She'll know the answer.
I think you're harder on yourself than you need to be. I know, but I think you are harder on yourself than you need to be. Yeah. But that's good, because you do have a job.
Lives,
that's what I was going to say. You do have a job where you need to be very critical and hard on yourself. So I do appreciate that. But things are, I think that, but going back to what we were saying earlier, like, we're looking at making adjustments to figure out, like, how can you do what you're doing, but then also have peace of mind and also be happy. So does that mean, well, just whatever it means. Like, we're looking at different options.
It's where I work now. I'm a rehab nurse, and I do like my job. However, very, very often there's only me and one other nurse. Where the facility I came from before, I had a plethora of nurses. Sure. And on night shift where I work now, there's no doctor there. Where we had doctors there 24/7 making rounds. So it's very weird because a lot more is on me.
Yeah.
And so I think that takes a little bit of my confidence away, because at my previous facility, it's like, you know what, I'm not sure about this, but I can ask multiple people. If I'm, most of the nurses I work with are great. I've had one nurse in particular that I do not feel comfortable. They're not approachable. I don't feel comfortable asking them anything. Don't worry, I've already talked to my manager about it, because you should feel comfortable with your coworkers. I message my sister.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Amber, and I don't break HIPAA or anything. I'm like, this is my situation. What should I do here? Which I love that I have my sister, but I should be able to bounce it off of the person I'm working next to. So I think that's messed with my confidence too.
Yeah, but I also think that you are good about being in these positions to where, like, whenever you feel like you're the new person, you aren't very assertive. But after you're there for a while, like, even you say, like, yeah, you were a great tech and everything, and not a great nurse, but whenever you left the hospital, you were the LPN on shift, and people treated you like the charge nurse.
Yeah.
So, because you're good at your job.
Yeah.
So, I think that you're letting this get in your head a little bit to make you feel less than, and you shouldn't, because at your last job... But it was because you were there for a while, you got your confidence, and you ran the floor like it was yours.
Well, and
you'll get to that point here.
I was kind of talking about that, too. Where here, like, I'm working with a lot of nurses I worked with at my previous facility, but management, I'm new to them. I'm new to a lot of these other nurses. I had everyone's trust at my previous facility, especially because they raised me from this little baby tech to, you know, this adult tech, then this little baby nurse to, like, I left when I was like a teenage nurse, you know. I wasn't a grown-up nurse yet.
Yeah, so I think after time, it'll be different. It will be, because you were like this before, too. And then it ended up you were great, and you will be great at this, because you are great. You'll just know you're great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take stock in your mental health right now, everybody, and just kind of figure out where you're at and what needs to tweak. What do you just need to, maybe not even change anything, what do you just need to focus on? Yeah. Just focus on some stuff. So that brings us to everybody's favorite part of the show, the part that we fly through so fast. We always build up to it like it's going to be this huge thing, and then Chia makes me go through it as fast as possible so she can go to work. That's right, everybody. It's time for Tots.
And now, time for Tots. The topic of the show.
Ooh, time for Tots. Yes, all right, the topic of the show this week is our best memories. And if you don't like this topic, it's your fault, because you choose the topics that we talk about. The topic of the show is always chosen by our supporters, not on Patreon. This is a free support system that you can give us on Jake and Chia Rules Blessed Ones. I will post a few different topics of discussion, and you get a vote on which topic you want us to discuss on the next week's episode. So if you don't like this one, well, bozo, go over there and start voting. So, I like doing it this way because it's not always what I expect it's going to be. Yeah. So I did not expect this to win. Okay. In fact, you're not happy about it. So,
what do you mean?
Whenever you seen that it was our favorite memories, you were like, "Oh, I don't want to do that."
Oh, well, I just worried what you were gonna say.
Okay, anyways. All right, would you like to kick us off with your favorite memory?
Yes.
What is your favorite?
Favorite memory.
Mine too.
No, I'm just kidding. Of just me and you?
Nope. Favorite memory in your life.
Oh, in my life?
Yeah, favorite memory. Which means it better be me and you.
Okay. Well, I'm, again, a bad mom, but this is... I have a lot. I don't have an absolute favorite, but this is one of my favorites. So, when we were dating, we went to Holiday World for my niece's birthday. Yeah. So it was me, you, and our friend Brian went with us. And I was like, I had only had one boyfriend before you. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't, we didn't really ever do anything together. He wasn't like a fun person.
Yeah, he set the bar pretty low.
And
I'm doing real good.
Well, for all I know, he could have been, but he was too busy hanging out with other people.
All right.
But... but I had been places with my friends' boyfriends, and they weren't like super fun. So I was real worried because I like to be a kid at places.
Yeah.
So I was so nervous. And we went to Holiday World and we went to the water park, the Splash and Safari water park. And I was like, all right, is he going to think this is dumb? And you went down a water slide, and the joy and giggle on your face, I was like, I want to marry that guy.
And then you did.
Because I just knew you would be fun. Like, that's what mattered to me. I didn't want you to be like, no, this is stupid. Oh.
No, I don't care about being cool.
When are we going to leave? When are we going to leave?
I don't care about looking cool.
No.
Like, I look like a piece of garbage all the time.
Like, I will never.
I care about being comfortable and having fun.
I like. That is an image that I hope never leaves my mind because I went down the water slide first.
Yeah.
And then I'm standing in the water and I turn around and look and you're just laughing and you have so much joy and you're on that inner tube and I was like,
let's go.
Oh, I like him.
That's the way to do it.
That is one of my all-time favorite memories.
No, that's a good one,
because
dude.
it just kind of solidified like, I can have fun with this guy for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good memory.
Yeah.
I like that one. It's about me, and I like me. I like things about me. I like bringing joy to you. I like. No, that is. I love that though because I didn't realize that was like such a impactful moment.
That was. If you had acted stupid on that trip, we probably would not have stayed together.
I'm tied for 2.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 that I'm tied for, so I'm gonna say them both, which means you can do another one if we have time.
I mean, I have a lot more, but that was just the first one that popped in my head.
Well, the first one that pops in my head is our very first family vacation, whenever we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And the reason is, and now we've talked about this in the show before, and Chia is the first person that will admit this. I have the worst memory. Drugs really did affect my memory, but it's not that I can't remember things. It's just that I don't remember things like vividly. Like I remember, it's almost like I read the footnotes of my memory.
Yeah, like they happened, but you don't, it's not a picture in your head.
Yeah, it's not a picture in my head. I can't really remember it like in detail. And also, I never remember when things happen. Like my history of my life is way out of order. Like, I will be like, yeah, I was 15, and she is like, that was last year, moron.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just, and it really is that bad. Like, my memory, I really did screw my memory up with drugs, 100%. So, anyways, the trip that we took to Gatlinburg, so many great things happened on that trip. Number one, that's the first family vacation I've ever been on. We never took family vacations. A few times whenever I was younger, Dad took us to Kings Island because like his work paid for it, but it never was like fun. Like I remember Dad having fun, and then later Mom told me it's because Dad would drop acid as we walked into the park.
Oh yeah,
little different.
Yeah,
he had a great time.
Yeah.
But like he had friends with him and stuff, and it was never like a family outing.
Right, it wasn't about you guys.
But growing up, I loved watching Christmas Vacation, and I loved watching like just the vacation movies, any family road trip movie.
Yeah.
Even like The Wizard, they on this road trip and everything. I loved road trip movies. I'd never been on one. I went to Wilmington, North Carolina once whenever I was younger, and I went to Kentucky a couple times whenever I was younger. That one didn't even really count.
Yeah.
So like I hadn't really traveled. I did go to Florida with my uncle whenever I was a teenager, but it was in a semi truck. We literally drove straight there and drove straight back.
Yeah.
So didn't really count. But when we went, like you made it such a family vacation. Like cuz you guys took a lot of vacations. So you knew how to make it fun. We stopped at a lot of roadside things. We went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We stopped for the night on the way there. Do you remember that?
Jasmine was a baby and I was pregnant, and we stopped in Kentucky for the night because that just seemed like such a 6 hours.
I know.
With a baby and a pregnant woman, and then fast forward to Roman being 5 weeks old, the other kids not even being 2 and 3 yet, and we drove 10 hours to North Carolina to stay with your cousin for a few nights, and then on to South Carolina.
Like now, traveling's so like whatever. I remember posting on Facebook. Made it to like Kentucky, stopping for the night, and Jared Blueball commented, and he goes, "Dude, isn't Gatlinburg like a 6-hour drive?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, dude. I don't know what I'm doing." But, like, I like that you did that because you did that on purpose because you wanted to make sure that everything went smooth. So you're like, we'll stop halfway. That way we can... And we went swimming in the hotel pool. And
I knew you were nervous about the trip. You were so nervous about the car breaking down or something happening on the road.
I thought for sure it wasn't going to happen. And then, like, we get to the cabin, and it was, like, there was the loft with, like, a pool table and video games and everything. And it was like... we're doing this? It was just so life-changing. Like, literally life-changing. Because I was like, we can set a goal and we can meet. That was the first goal that we together set and met. And now, look at our life. And I can trace all of what we do, all of our goal settings, all of that stuff. I could trace it all back to you planning that family vacation. Jasmine took her first steps in that cabin. That's where she walked for the first time, was on family vacation. In that cabin.
Yeah.
There was the hot tub that was outside. I remember going out in the hot tub, trying to get you naked. But we couldn't stay out there very long because we had a baby in the house and there was other cabins around. And I was like, who cares?
Also, I love how protective you were when I was pregnant. But the whole reason you can't get into a hot tub when you're pregnant lots of times is so your blood pressure doesn't rise. I had never had any problems with my blood pressure. And I took really hot showers and really hot baths when I was pregnant. And I discussed it with my doctor, and it was okay and everything. He said, as long as you're comfortable. Jake turned the temperature down on the hot tub. And so I didn't want to be in it very long because it wasn't very warm.
I didn't want to cook Holden.
And I remember like sitting there arguing with you, and you're like, no. If you're gonna get in it, like it has to be. I don't know if you looked it up or something.
Yeah, I did.
But oh my God, I was so mad at you.
Another thing I remember about this trip too is that we went and did like weird things, like that. So we went to medieval times.
Oh,
I'd never been before.
No, we didn't go to medieval times there. That's in Myrtle Beach. We went to the Dixie Stampede the first time.
That's right. We went to the Dixie Stampede.
That was another thing that made me realize like how fun you were, because I was worried you would think that was stupid too.
I had such a blast.
I was like, he's not gonna like a dinner and a show, but we'll try.
Dude, it was so
and
dumb.
And you want to go to them like anytime they're around
anytime.
now.
There's a medieval times that's in northern Indiana up by Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a 3 hour. We can go.
Yeah.
That's a 3 hour drive. Whatever. Yeah. So there was that. Then we went to that like really weird zoo.
Oh yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, but remember the cobra?
Yeah.
There was that. That's the first time I'd ever seen a cobra. Holy cow, are they huge?
Yeah.
That thing was a giant, and it was following Jasmine as we walked.
Like remember? I was holding her, and yeah.
Yeah, that was
creepy,
crazy, dude. Yeah, and that was like just like a small little like zoo that some dude ran. It was like
it's a really good one though.
Yeah, but I don't think it's open anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the next time we went back it was gone because I think it was like a Joe Exotic situation.
We went again with the family, and I think it was still open that time because we've been twice now, but I don't know after that.
I don't know. So that's my second favorite memory. So that's my favorite memory because I think that in our relationship that solidified a lot of things, and it changed the course of our life. That vacation did, because it showed me that, like, because we were poor.
Oh yeah,
we had no money.
Yeah,
but you had a goal, and you were like, no, we have to do these things for ourselves. We have to do self-care. This is important to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever. And I think that like our view on life and the way that we look at things is a lot different than people in my family. And I think it's because we do things like that.
Well, it was a big turning point for our marriage, too, because we had been having a lot of trouble. And then we went on that vacation.
Yeah, we got away.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that was one of the things that our marriage needed.
Yeah.
And it just went to show, it wasn't the responsibility of our kids or anything like that. It was just, we didn't take time to have fun together.
Exactly. We were so focused on getting by that we didn't focus on why are we getting by.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, because of this. So that does bring me to my second one.
Okay.
So my second favorite memory, and they're about tied. Do you know what it is?
No.
We lived in this tiny house.
Yes.
It's the first house that me and you like really lived in together, technically. So the 1-bedroom house in Spencer.
Yes.
It was literally was like a garage that someone turned into a house, and it was a cute little house.
Yeah,
it really was. But
oh, I know what it is now.
You were making spaghetti.
Yes,
and we had an argument, and it started, and we were fighting a lot back then.
Yes,
because this is whenever I was going through my sobriety in the beginning. This is when I first stopped drinking.
This was like year 1 or 2.
Yeah.
heads up, the first few years are rough.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. Like, sobriety takes a long time.
Yeah,
like, if go to AA.
I was going to say, we didn't.
Or something, yeah.
Go to meetings, find another support system.
Yeah, figure something out.
If you are a spouse of someone going through sobriety, find your own support system.
Yeah.
Because it's rough.
Yeah, 100%. So we were fighting a lot, and I never got abusive. I will say that, but I definitely got angry and threw plates and stuff a lot. I know that, and it's very embarrassing to like look back on now because I'm so different than I was. But it was just, going through, like, there was a chemical change in my brain that was happening. I was dependent on something, and it was changing. So anyways, we got in a fight about something. And typically whenever we would get in a fight, you would end up kind of like just going within yourself, and I would yell about stuff, and then I would usually just like leave for like an hour and then come back or something. And I don't remember which one of us started. You're very good at memories.
I don't remember.
Okay, so one of us, we were eating, you were making spaghetti, and one of us, to be like, okay, well, we're fighting, but like, I don't want to fight anymore. And I think it was me.
It probably was.
I'm pretty sure that like we were in an argument. I was sick of us fighting all the time about dumb stuff. So I literally grabbed spaghetti noodles and just threw them at you.
Yeah.
Like, and you were like, are you kidding me? And I was just like, yeah, I win. And you're like, what? So you grabbed spaghetti noodles and you threw them back at me.
Yeah.
And then we just started like giggling like little kids and running through this tiny little house. And the house was like, you would go through a door, like if we were in the kitchen, you would go through a door that would take you into our small living room. Then there was another door on the other side of the living room that would take you into our bedroom. Then there was another door on the other side of the bedroom that went back into the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it literally just did a circle.
Like the bedroom was in the right back corner, and then the kitchen and the living room made an L shape around the bedroom.
Right.
And there was a toilet
in the bedroom.
In the bedroom that had a sink, and there was a door into that.
And then the shower was just in the wall.
Yeah, with a shower curtain.
Yeah, just in the wall in the bedroom.
You stepped into the bedroom, and then on the other side, that was a closet.
If it was still just me and you, I'd totally still
I'd live back there. I love that.
So anyways, remember when we had turtle races in the kitchen? Because the kitchen was like a long hallway.
Oh, yeah.
And we did turtle races with Josh Lane.
Because we had those red sliders. We had the sliders, yeah.
Yeah, and we did turtle races. Anyways, so I just remember, like, I threw the noodles at you, you threw them back at me, I threw them back at you, and then I ran out giggling, and you chased me into the living room, into the bedroom, around the bedroom, and then you threw more at me, and then I grabbed the entire bottle of spaghetti sauce and ran after you, and you got, I
jumped in the shower.
I was like, I'm going to do it, and you're like, wait, and then you jumped in the shower, and I threw it, like the whole bottle in your face. And it splattered everywhere. And when we moved out, there was still spaghetti sauce in the ceiling of the shower.
On the ceiling, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite. So thank you guys so much for joining us for our favorite memories and going through just, the last few things that we've been doing in our life. We love you guys, and we love sharing these things with you. Please reach out to us. You can reach us at jakeandchia@gmail.com. You can reach us at Jake and Chia Rubel's Blessed Ones on Facebook. You can... basically any of those ways. Come to a show, all that stuff. Please like, subscribe, leave us a review, blah, 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 blah. You're amazing, and we love you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and as always,
laugh and be blessed.